You asked for time. Is this long enough?
Yes, my head's clearer, though I would kill for a decent cup of coffee.
Have you? For coffee, I mean?
Not today. You've got questions. You might as well ask them.
I know Katerina volunteered you to work with us. Are you okay with that?
When the first talent of the Crows gives you a job, you do it. Especially if she's your grandmother. But there's plenty of reason for me to work with you beyond that, Rook.
Such as?
I owe you a debt, for one. And after a year in that hole, maybe I'm looking forward to stabbing a god or two in the back.
You're the best mage killer in the Antivan Crows. So how'd the Venatori catch you?
Someone set me up. I had a contract for Colivan, in the ossuary. I took a ship from Treviso to Minrathus. They were waiting for me. Knew which ship and when it would arrive. I don't know how they convinced the Crows I was dead, but I woke up in the ossuary with Zara gloating about it.
I know we brought you in as a specialist, but things are rough. I need everyone to help out.
Of course. I hate sitting idle, and it's better I stay occupied. You haven't asked about Spite.
From what I've seen, I'd say he picked the right name.
He's stronger when I sleep, so I try not to do it much. No one was in the ossuary by choice, not even the demons. We both did what we had to get out of there.
So, if you're an abomination...
I suppose I should get used to that.
But I heard that only mages can get possessed by demons.
I'm skilled with a blade, but I promise you, without Spite, I have the magical talent of a brick. There must be some difference between a demon deceiving their way into a body and being forced into one. Only Zara knows for sure.
We need you. But if you're any kind of threat to us, I want to know now.
It helps to have targets to focus on, and you have no shortage of enemies. Leave Spite to me. If he's trapped in this world, he has good reason to fight for it. For now, I must honor our contract. Gods, magic, politics. Things are going to get very bloody.
I could have daggers in 100 necks by nightfall.
No doubt, but more necks would present themselves tomorrow.
I have other daggers.
Am I interrupting?
Forgive Thea. She gets testy when a contract is delayed.
Neither of you strike me as the bloodthirsty sort.
Our shared enemies deserve our worst.
You want help against the gods. We want Treviso free. We now think they may be the same problem. The occupation has a face. The Antam commander, Keith Lord Butcher Dathrata. But Viago thinks killing him outright is short-sighted.
The Butcher took the city suspiciously fast. Removing him is useless if someone else can repeat that, with the help of gods or something else. Despite it being the outcome, assassination is not about killing, it's about sending a message.
And what message would that be?
The Crows rule Antiva, and Treviso will be free.
You're in charge. Antiva has a king.
And the power of a king is enforced by armies. Antiva has no army. It has the Crows.
There's a reason Antivan coins have portraits of guild leaders, not royalty. We're patriots. Crows can't field a battalion, but we protect our nation our way.
Sounds like you think the occupation wasn't just about force.
Cruel as the Butcher is, he didn't break the city with a siege. It was sudden and complete.
Like he had it all mapped. Where to march and what to close off to choke resistance.
He had inside information? Spies?
He had something.
And until we know what it was, killing him isn't the contract.
Butcher Dathrata. What do you know about him?
The Antam army fractured, split among warlords, and he seems to have kept the most traditional discipline. And the rank and file like it. His numbers keep growing, but the Butcher himself is odd.
Odd how?
He gives daily speeches about how the occupation is somehow merciful. And the way he talks, it's familiar. It's like he thinks he belongs here. And I won't have it.
The gods care about taking Treviso.
The Butcher wants Treviso. The gods may just want the Antam.
But Antam distrusts magic and outright fear demons. They should be enemies.
Power can turn anyone against their own interests, their own people.
Helping the crows helps everyone in the long run. What's the first step to your message?
We have a scout named Dareth. He said he was onto something the Butcher was hiding.
He was in the Drown district, so that's a place to start. Find our crow and help with his contract.
Find your crow, then what?
We break this occupation. We craft the message one step at a time.
And when we finally assassinate the person who leashed Treviso, that death will tell everyone. The crows rule Antiva, and Treviso will be free.
He was my cousin!
What? We are found! Attack!
Don't worry. Taya and Viago sent us.
You and Lucas? Yes! Kill them! Kill the Antam! They killed Garrett! Please, you have to finish Darrett's contract. It's about the Butcher. My cousin was going to spy on the Butcher. He told me we'd pick up the contract from a dead drop. But then... someone has to finish this for Dareth. Please.
We will take care of it. Go back to the diamond.
I will, just give me a minute.
That note said Dareth should pick up the contract at the usual place across from Taya and Viago. Just follow the marks.
There will be a trail of marks left by previous crows. It will lead us right to it.
I saw something like that on a wall we passed earlier.
Let's go look. Here's another crow mark. This is where the marks lead. Dareth's contract must be here somewhere. The Butcher is making poison. Comic.
The poison that destroys your mind? That comic?
If I were the Butcher, it'd be a good way to keep people in line.
We cannot let the Butcher unleash this on Treviso.
He won't. The Antam brought in a comic master to mix the poison. He's at the garrison. We stop him there before this goes any further.
Boss! Over here!
Take them out, quick!
Nice one!
Outsider, time to test my gift. I am will made flesh, so much less. Finally, the fight the Butcher denied has come to me.
It's done. The coming master's dead.
Good. That's good.
First things first, let's destroy the rest of the poison. Then we figure out what was going on here. That's the last of the poison, thankfully. Let's look for anything else that explains what's happening. Wait. This note says that wasn't all the comic. The Butcher's angry because some went missing.
What? Who stole it?
No idea. But the note does mention the Butcher's inside traitor. The occupation had help. Taya and Viago need to know they were right.
I told you crows to stay out of this!
Out of what? Defending our home?
If we had a stronger civil government instead of a bunch of circus criminals, the Antam wouldn't have a foothold in the first place.
You're responsible for the city.
This is Governor Ivenchi. They have concerns.
My concern is how you've endangered the city.
We're defending Antiva.
These protections are in place for the good of everyone. You act without oversight.
We crows are the oversight.
And yet, here we are, awash in Antam. And now, you've angered the Butcher.
It's bigger than whatever it is you're whining about. The gods are corrupting some of the Antam.
And the Butcher?
You two are right. He had help taking the city. Human traitors.
I didn't want to believe it. Killing the Butcher does nothing if someone could just sell us out again.
I'd start right here. You Talons are known for infighting and betrayal.
You're accusing them. One of their crows died for this contract.
That's enough. Rook, thank you for finishing that contract. The only reward we have is to ask you for more.
We're allies. Of course I'll help.
Ivenchi is right about one thing. The Butcher will not like that we're fighting back.
We need to be ready. Rook, I will have every crow tracking this traitor and the gods, and we will send word when we find something.
The stakes are too high. This should be left to proper officials.
Go back to filing trade receipts, Ivenchi. The crows rule Antiva.
And Treviso will be free. With or without you, Governor.
Rook, Ilario sent word. He's got intel on Zara. He wants to meet up. Fancy a trip to Treviso?
Sounds like fun.
Come on. Ilario will meet us at Cafe Pietra. It's not that far from here. We have time before he arrives. I wouldn't mind looking around a while. The markets are running. Good. I need to get some things while we're here. Treviso. I barely had time to look around when we returned from the ossuary.
This place, does it feel very different?
In some ways, more than I expected. But then, perhaps it's me.
A potted plant?
For Harding's garden. Spearmint is supposed to calm bad dreams. It's good in desserts, too.
So you and Ilario are cousins?
Yes, but we're more like brothers. Katarina took us both in, a long time ago now. Here's the place.
Been a duel to the death.
Velara mentioned the daily seafood recipe she wants to make.
The demon of Virantium is grocery shopping for the team.
Have you seen what they eat? It's a miracle you didn't all starve before you hired me.
When we met, it didn't seem like Ilario and Katerina were close.
It was hard to be close to her, even for me. And I was her favorite. A good selection. Fresh fruit. Nev only eats fried fish. You'd think a detective would have discovered scurvy by now.
Is that everything on the list?
Yes, and Ilario should be here by now. Let's go before he gets himself in trouble.
I've got goods from all over.
You can't buy something for everyone but yourself. Here, this is for you.
A wyvern tooth dagger? I loved wyverns as a boy. Katarina would never let me have one of these, though. Cafe Pietra is just ahead.
That's where we're meeting your cousin. Why not the casino?
House Cantori has many talents. Making coffee is not one of them.
Finally. I thought you might leave me here all by my lonesome.
Please. You think I'd ever pass up Cafe Pietra's coffee?
You see, Rook, my cousin is all stomach and no heart.
Don't mind him. Ilario cannot appreciate anything but himself. They serve a specialty roast here, Andoral's breath.
Bitter and sweet, like a kiss goodbye. You should try it.
Right. I know we came here for coffee, but I prefer tea.
Ugh.
Nobody's listening. Should we get to business?
There's still the one at table 3.
She just left to follow the waitress.
So, you have something?
The crows I sent after Sarah have picked up her trail. They say she's gone to Virantium.
I have a friend who's very good at finding people.
Katerina was first Talon. This is crow business. We can handle it.
Apparently not. Your lead is no good, cousin.
You have better information?
We're compromised. There's no other way Zara could even touch Katerina. You need your eyes here, in Antiva.
Zara would never be foolish enough to stay. Not with you out for blood.
Of course she would. If the crows protecting her are here.
Rook, reason with him, would you? He's being paranoid.
I am not paranoid. She came after me. She came after Katerina. She will come for you too.
If it'll make you feel better, I'll clean house, all right? Leave this to me.
He's gone.
Of course he is. Ilario always caves under pressure.
Zara's not going to get Ilario, and she's not getting away with anything she's done. I promise.
Don't promise. But thank you.
So, are you glad to be back in Antiva?
It doesn't feel real yet. And it wasn't this fool of Antam when I left.
I can imagine it's a shock.
They say taste and smell awaken our strongest memories. For so long, memories were all I had. But whatever the circumstances, the here and now is a much finer place to be. How's your tea?
Bold and refreshing. I feel ready for anything. Ready to head back to the lighthouse?
Almost. Rook, do you have a minute?
Of course. Something wrong?
Thea wants to meet.
That doesn't sound like a bad thing.
She wants to plan Katerina's funeral.
Oh. Right.
If you don't mind, I could use some backup. In case Spike gets out of hand.
Let's not keep Teo waiting.
Good, you're here.
Thank you for making the arrangements, Thea.
For Katerina? How could I do otherwise? I'm so sorry, Lucanis. This must be such a blow. Rook, thank you for coming with him. I need Juan de la Muerte to plan this. His cousin has been no help at all.
I'm sorry, Thea. This is just too much right now.
If there's anything I can do, just say the word.
You're such a dear. I hope these two are paying attention.
Thea, don't flirt with my colleague.
Jealous? Fine. To business, then. There's a lot to plan. But first, I need the ashes.
Ashes?
Make it help us. Yes, the ashes. Katerina's ashes. From the cremation?
Oh, yes. Of course. I'll get them to you right away.
Ilario, what happened?
What do you mean?
Katerina, how? How did the Venatori get to her? When? Where? In the estate? In the city? How did they get past our people? What did they use? Poison? Blades? I need to know.
Cousin, stop. You can't dwell on this. It'll drive you mad.
I'm not dwelling. Zara killed the first Talon. I have to know how if I'm going to stop her.
I told you. I'm handling it.
Boys, enough of this. We have other things to discuss.
My apologies, Andrea. Continue without me. I'll get you the ashes.
Something's going on with him. I don't know what.
When he's not on the job, my cousin always has his head in the clouds.
Ilario can be a handful. But this? The only time I've seen him like this was when Lucanis died. You're worrying, aren't you? What will people say if they hear the demon of Virantium has a big, soft heart?
He's been careless at times, but never when his own life was on the line. Zara took down the first Talon. Anyone could be next, and my cousin doesn't want to think about it?
You have a point. It's not like Hilario to ignore a knife coming at him.
What do you need from me for the funeral?
Come, I'll get us some drinks and we can make the arrangements.
Our house owes you for handling all of this.
Katerina was family. Can you imagine what she'd say if she saw us all like this?
She'd be furious, especially at Hilario, as usual.
She was a smart lady.
She was the best. Of all the Talons, Katerina was the sharpest.
Which makes it even harder to believe this could happen. Nobody could catch her unaware. And now Hilario's got his head in the clouds.
I'll have my people keep an eye on him for you.
Thank you, Thea.
Go on. I'll let you know if something comes up.